Good morning and welcome to the Talk of the Town. I'm Sonali Vanigabaduge. Joining me this morning is Dr. Vinya Ariyaratne, President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association. Good morning and welcome to the show, Doctor.
Good morning, Sonali.
Dr. Vinya, unveiling the 2024 budget yesterday, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, in his capacity as Finance Minister, pledged his commitment to identify shortcomings encountered in the journey thus far. Specifically with respect to the health sector, he said that shortcomings will be identified and addressed, guidelines will be issued, and a separate institution will be established for the medicine procurement process. Currently, there is a methodology for procurement in the health sector. Speak to us about your initial views on this.
Yes, so I think President's commitment to identifying the shortcomings and finding solutions is welcoming. I think that's a very good statement. But when it comes to establishing a separate mechanism for procurement for the health sector or for pharmaceuticals, I think we have concerns about it because we already have a system in place. The National Medicines Regulatory Authority has a very well established regulatory, and also though it itself does not make any procurement, it's doing the preliminary work for procurement, which is very critical. And also the procurement mechanism in the health ministry is very well established. There is there are technical committees that need to vet the bids, and even how you call the bids, there is a procedure. So what has happened is that so far, particularly during the last 1.5 years or so, these procedures have not been followed. So there was no transparent procurement process that has been followed. Not that the procedures do not exist, the implementation was the problem. So I really don't know whether we really require a separate agency to do this now, and even establishing such an agency will take time, and we are in an emergency. So I think it's better to reactivate and really follow the existing procedures rather than creating a new mechanism.
Let's speak a bit about health governance. The recently released IMF Governance Diagnostic Report, as well as the Governance Diagnostic Report issued by civil society, alluded to the fact that we need to urgently address issues in the health sector. Over the past few weeks, there have been shifts at the helm of the Ministry of Health as well as the National Medicines Regulatory Authority, the NMRA. How can these institutional shifts contribute to averting the growing crisis in health?
Yes, health governance has been in question during the last few years, and I think even though just changing heads may not change the system, but we had a robust system where the healthcare services were managed quite well. So here I think there's a fresh mandate for those who have been appointed to these positions, so that I think they can look at these issues anew based on the evidence that have been presented to them and the solutions that have been presented to them. And I think it's a matter of implementing them. And particularly when it comes to NMRA, I think we have full confidence in the new chairman, Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama, and he knows this system well. One individual may not be able to change the entire system, which has been undermined deliberately, but I think he can give leadership, and with the technical support that he can receive from medical professional colleges as well as the health ministry, I'm sure things can be put right.
My final question is, what is the role of the general public in being proactive when it comes to holding to account the government and government institutions with respect to the health sector?
So there are already mechanisms in place where public views can be obtained to in healthcare delivery, but at the same time, I think these procurement processes, all that, need to be transparent, and there has to be information technology platforms where these information are disclosed proactively, and public should demand. and even in the periphery where there are shortages of medicines to whatever the problems that they have in the system, they should lobby with the local elected representatives, put pressure on them that they should address these problems, because that's the reason why we have elected them to those positions. So that way the public can engage more actively, engage, and that's a must.
All right. Thank you very much for your perspectives, Dr. Vinya Ariyaratne, President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association. Thank you, and it's back to the studio.